The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Good morning. Welcome to the Next Level Convo with Brenda at Morris Media Studios Live. Hi, good morning. It's Friday. Hope everyone's having a great day already. It's beautiful outside. Morris Media Live, Next Level Convo with Brenda and Khadijah, who unfortunately is not here today. She had to take care of some of her other personal business. And I am now about to get into the show. Good morning for the fifth time. Welcome. You know, I always start off with, after my introductions, the week. The week was busy, extremely busy. It's just one of those weeks where everything is really going your way and you're super busy and you're enjoying it. But it's like, okay, wait a minute, let me take a minute. I have one of those type of weeks, which was good. It's good because that's part of what I wanted to speak on today. Is making sure that we're using our time wisely in a productive manner. Making sure that we're doing something that we will see the results of our work. We all have to be responsible. And the one thing I can say is once I really, really understood my purpose, and that meant that I'm going forward in this direction with this particular project, without fear, no, I'm not scared, with knowing that I'm going to have the results that I've been working for. And that sounds easy. And I've been trying to reach that goal for a long time. I mean, it's different levels. And once you get to one level, you realize, okay, next, what is next? But in order to get to that level, you have to get lessons on the first level. And sometimes you can get stagnated, and there's some lessons you don't get right away. So you have to put in energy and time. And that's the step for productivity, is your energy and your time. And if you can contribute that to yourself, that's a wonderful thing. Not to other people, because we do that. But if you can give that energy and time to yourself with your plan, so that you could get to the next level. In other words, that means move forward in life. Because we have to start being accountable for what we're doing in our productivity. Especially if we're expecting for the youth or being able to give lessons to others, we have to be accountable for it. And that's with a plan. That's with a plan. And being consistent. And that leads me into Nip's Corner. Good morning to anyone who's just joining or listening, that I am about to talk about what I do every week, which is Nipsey's Corner. And I do that because the marathon has to continue. And he really, really put in work, energy, and effort, time, determination to show what could be done. It was a collective situation, but that one person that could spearhead that and make it a dream, a reality, and be the forefront runner on it we all have to know that we can do that. And we all have special lanes. We all have special talents and special things that you can contribute to yourself that can also help others around you. Because we have to build up the community that you want. They have to be educated and understand some things. And education comes in many forms, many forms. I'm not just saying, oh, go to college, get your degrees, and then you're educated. No, it just comes from life lessons as well. And those are probably the best lessons. I'm not taking anything away from education because it is extremely important. Because then that'll push us over into knowledge. So that comes from reading, receiving information, processing it, researching it, understanding it, and wanting to know it. That's a knowledge area. But see, we weren't talking about that. But I did want to put that out there because it crossed my mind. But we do have to just do better than what's happening right now. And that means each and every one of us have to contribute something to the development and the change and the growth of someone close to you. So in one person, we just do one person each. I think we'll be doing really well. Because he said that he just wasn't any different from anybody else. The difference between him and the next person was that he never gave up. He just kept doing it, kept seeing the dream. This is what I believe in. This is what I know can happen. It can happen. And he just never stopped. He never stopped. And that's a lesson in that alone for us, is to never give up on whatever your dream is. You're never too old to fulfill it. You're never too young to start it. So there's a lot of room in between young and old. That a lot of things can get done. We have that ability. And I just wanted to kind of talk on that a little bit because the marathon, it was heavy on. It still is for me. So I feel that we have to contribute to it in some form, any type of way you can that is positive, that is growing, that can make a difference or a change. And I continue to believe that the marathon continues, and it is our culture. It is the way we do things. It's the way we think. It's how we become more effective and being more productive, part of our culture. And I think if we can get those things, it can really, really be a great thing. So the marathon just continues through our knowledge and our understanding, our growth, our transformation, our becoming, and all of it with no fear. No fear. And I think you can move forward positively. Because that's what we want. Because we want to be the best people that we can be. I'm just on one today, you guys, so you have to ride with me. And I'm just going to have to share my thoughts. But I think that we all should be the best that we could be in whatever situation that we're in. Because when we do that, then nothing is going to come back but the best. There's a lot of stuff. We have a lot of issues, a lot of reasons why we don't have to, we can complain on it, we can lean on, but we can take on those things and still continue to be your best. We can do that. Excuse me. Oh, wow, that feels really good. But I'm on that, being our best and building. And we're live in Morris Media Studios. Speaking of building, I'm going to throw in there her transformation. That was another unknown hero. We didn't know. If you don't know about Morris Media, then you don't know the transformation that a young lady went through to change it to what it is today, right now. So that was a transformation. That was a growth, a next level. So that's just an example of a warrior that we don't get a lot of press on, we don't know about, but was able to accomplish a goal. So that happened here. And that's just saying that we can do it. The marathon. So many things going on in the news today. I was just, wow. Like, what story did I really want to pick? Or what did I want to talk about? It was just overwhelming. Until I literally had to put down all my devices. I'm not going to look. Because there's so many things we could talk about. But I think what is really important is understanding the building process of building around you, building the people up that are closest to you. Building, that's the beginning structure. If you get the foundation right, then the building will last. And I think that's what we need to do with everyone that we are encountering, everyone that we allow to be in our lives, everyone we interact with. It should always be a building process for each of us, because I'm sure everyone is trying to accomplish something. And if you're not, then we can put you on the path to do it. But for those of us that are on that journey of accomplishments, it is about building each other up and making sure that we can do it. Positive energy. And yes, there are hard times, and it's not like, be oblivious to things that are happening, because the things that are happening are just the challenges that you have to challenge, go through on your journey. But at the same time, you still have to be faithful and truthful to yourself and to your own journey of what it is, and stay on it. Stay on it. And you will see the reward. And that's from starting with just building. That was just simple. Something that we all have to do and be responsible for. That I am a real estate agent, and that leads me over into that area of building the mind and giving information. The one thing I really, really would like for anybody to challenge me on is the information. Not even purchasing, but just getting the information on how to purchase. What are your options? What are things that you can do? How can you do them? Because I believe that there's more than one way to complete a situation. I always use a little example of, we can both be going to the same location, but we can travel there in two different directions, but we'll still get there. So that means that you have options. And that's really what I would like for people to know in regards to my real estate, is that you have options. And it's important to know what they are. And it's just getting information. That's sharing with no pressure. Because once you get the information, of course you're going to process it. And that's the most valuable part of being the agent, is being able to give information, and the person that you give it to receive it and process it and utilize it. That's the gratifying part. Excuse me. But, everything is fast changing too. So that means information in all areas is changing, and it's adapting to whatever the new requirements are. So that's why it's important also to sit down with the agent and just discuss over the process of what it takes to purchase. It could be a building, land, units, single family dwelling, just whatever it is that you want. And you can see the different things that can happen with whatever your choices are. And how do you make it benefit you? How does it change your life? How does it make a difference? And the way you know, you may know because you have your own thoughts and ideals. But as an agent, I believe one of the things that is important is to let your clients know that they have options. And so that's the really factor. And really be able to see them and know that they're real, that's a good thing. And so that's the information. But that's ACB Real Estate, Brenda Bradford, in Cerritos, California. So I'm there to make sure that I answer any of your questions, give you knowledge and information. And you know how sometimes you can read a book, and then if you read it again, the information becomes a little bit more clear. Or if you're a student and you read before you go to class, once you get in class and the instructor starts speaking on what you've read, you know how you feel comfortable? And that's the way it's supposed to be when you do a purchase. It's supposed to be a comfortable experience. But that starts before the actual purchase starts. It's understanding what you're about to do or what are your choices. And that's my job, to make sure that you get that information. Because there's a lot of stuff. Oh, the one thing that I wanted to share in regards to the real estate too is the way you take title to property. It's so important that you read it, understand it, and educate yourself on how to take title, because it makes a big difference in different circumstances, how you take title. You could have multiple people on one particular property, and each of those people may have taken property as husband and wife, joint tenants, just different things. And now if it becomes time to sell it, it could be done, but it can be done with less transactions if it's taken properly and if you understand it. I'm not an attorney, but I can help with the contract that I would have an individual commit to. I will go over it very thoroughly and make sure you understand what is happening. So that's part of a good agent as well. But I'm Brenda Bradford, and I'm live in Morris Media Studios. And it's Friday, you guys, and I'm just going all over the place with it this morning because that's how I feel. So I'm going to have a sip of this warm tea. Give me a moment, please. Oh, thank you. Oh, this really, really feels good because I just had a very interesting week. And so when you are constantly working or moving and doing what you're supposed to be doing and you see the results, it's like, oh, my God. I think I told the story, about my cell phones. And I lost them. And then I'm on the third one. And I'm like, oh, my God. Wait a minute. Before I get this, let me see what the reason is. Why did this happen? iPhone, then my next nice Android I had that turned back on. Same day I turned it on and dropped it, broke it, could not utilize it at all. I was like, oh, okay, that's a lot of money in phones that just was destroyed. So what's going on? That was me just talking with myself, thinking like, oh my God. But I did think that it made me disconnect so that I could reconnect to myself. And I think that was really one of the pivotal points in my transformation that made a big difference, was the week that I lost my iPhone and I cracked up my Android phone. And then I was getting another one. And I said, wait a minute, let me disconnect so I could reconnect to myself. And in that 1 week that I was disconnected, the true E Hollywood story is that I got so much completed, so many things completed. I read a whole book in that 1 week. And I'm sharing that again because it's important, just for the message that we do have to reconnect with ourselves. But what my experience was with that was through my telephones. And you know how important a phone is. And so I'm totally disconnected. But in that 1 week, I did achieve a lot of things on my things to do list. A lot of things were accomplished. And I was just shocked and surprised. I read a whole book in 1 week. I didn't do the phone. I did get it turned on the following week, but I did do that week without it, and I did accomplish a lot. So it makes me push away from it a little bit more because I know how much more I could get done. Even though it's useful, it's very, very useful. But I just got a lot of stuff, personal stuff done. I just was able to accomplish my little task, and I was really happy about that. But that was me reconnecting to myself. And that's full circle what I was getting back to. Yourself on purpose. Do something. Do something. And once I did that, I was like, oh, okay. Okay, all right, now I understand. Okay, I get it. But it was a good experience, and I'm now more focused on the accomplishment. Hey, good morning. It's Friday. I didn't want to talk about Trump. Excuse me. I really didn't, because I think we've heard a lot, and I think we all need to just sit back and watch this and see what happens before give your opinion, what your thoughts are. That's nothing wrong with that. That's all good. But I'm just waiting for everything that's supposed to come out to the public on them justifying their decision to do what's being done. I'm with that. I'm with just kicking back and let's see. Let's see. And then there's, it's always trolling on the internet. There's always all these stories. But I decided not to do that. I was like, that's it. Let me disconnect from that for a minute. Let me get on that. That's enough, all right? So many different things are happening all across the nation. Good, and, some good stuff going on. Some good stuff. Everything is not always negative, but as you troll, you can see more things going, oh my God, then you was like, ooh. So I tried to get off of the internet for a couple of days because I had enough. I'm like, no. And on top of that, I was actually working on my own stuff a little bit more, but I did say I wanted to be off of it for a minute because I need to reconnect again. Hey, good morning. Oh, wait. Thank you, Sheena, for the tea. It's really, really tastes really good today. Warm. So anyway, I was thinking about, back to the real estate, okay? I was just thinking about on different ways that everyone could just rebuild your own community. There are multiple ways to rebuild the community. And I was thinking about that. And so that was on my mind with, wow, how do you make something like that happen? But then I kept thinking about it, and it came up to a conclusion. I came up with the conclusion that it is each person just doing a little. Just doing a little. Just for your block. One block. We can challenge on that. One block. Every person on the block just take care of their block and make a project of that. We should call it the reality television. Remember they used to come out and do homes and redo this and redo that and let them tape that situation happening. Just cleaning up one block at a time. And I think it would be a real big difference. A real difference. And I think that's something that it can be accomplished. It can really be accomplished. It's not going to be difficult. Just one person at one time on one block, one house. We'd be amazed what could happen. Because I keep seeing that the neighborhoods are really, really beautiful once they're cleaned up. Really beautiful. I'm looking at the regentrification of a couple of the neighborhoods in the West Los Angeles area. It looks really nice. And it's all the way the whole area to look beautiful like that, one block at a time for the cleanup. One house at a time. But it's a mindset. But I think that's the beginning stage, and I don't think it takes a whole lot of people, political leaders, officials, mayors, senators. I don't think it takes all that. I just think it takes one person at a time on one block, from one door to the next. And I think you can get a whole lot accomplished. Because I believe we've been having officials as long as these cities have been incorporated and nothing has changed. And they're in worse condition. So I don't think, not to disrespect any city official or anything like that, I wouldn't do that because they're doing a job. And I believe that when they take those jobs, they really mean to do really well by the people. But in reality, ever since each of our cities has been incorporated, the development in most of them has been limited. And so you can't go there anymore. Now you have to say, let's take responsibility. Let's make a change ourselves. And that's with one house, one door at a time, one block at a time, individuals just basically moving in that direction for the cleanup of your own city, your own neighborhood, your own block. And then I think you can see what you can do for yourself. So if there's really a big situation and you really do need city officials, they would probably come and assist because we probably wouldn't need them on such smaller levels as far as cleaning up your own city and your own block, your own neighborhood, making a difference, showing the children different. So I think that's something that could be done. I think that we could do it. We all could do it. Easy. And then you can see that for all these years, the city officials are going to do A, B, and C. And then you do it yourself and see that it will get done. Because who better to invest in your particular location than you? It's up to us to invest in our own locations and then see the value, because it's valuable. Valuable. And that's part of the real estate that I wish that more of us really understood how valuable it could really be, and how it could be a legacy, and how it could be used to create. It's generational. And I think all of us, everyone, is entitled to that. And it should be a priority to make sure that we do that we accomplish that. So that the generations that come behind you will be able to say, at least I have something to make a choice with. I don't have to start from nothing. If they're responsible, productive individuals, those of us that know, we all trying to make sure that our children and our nieces and nephews and those around us are those type of people, that they're responsible individuals, and that you could say, I wouldn't feel bad leaving whatever my legacy with any one of them, because they make a right choice and know how to utilize it. But if they're not taught how to utilize it, and they don't understand what that is, then that creates the chaos that we don't want. So if we start talking to our children when they're young, about major issues, I mean, you don't have to try to make them be an adult, but just educating them and giving them more information at a younger age, because they really can receive it. If they can sit down and figure out any of these video games, make anything happen on there, just imagine what can happen with their mind if it was being fed with the proper things for their success. They're off the chain. And that's what each of us could do with our nieces, our nephews, our grandchildren, or any little person that surrounds you, is constantly feed them information anytime they're in your presence. Excuse me. But that's all a part of the process. That's part of understanding real estate, understanding everything from the banking. Now we have the banking, everything's online. And I think everyone's becoming really, really comfortable with doing a lot of their business online. So that is the technology. But whatever it is, if it's online banking and you're comfortable with it, or if it's still walking into a bank and you're comfortable with that, take your grandkid, take your son, take your daughter, take anybody's niece in them, so that they can learn and see the process of what it takes for banking. Because that's important that we teach them. And I know I'm always, I can get on my subjects because there's so many of them, and it's just the fight it's just never ending. So with that being said, it's just be the best you could be every single day to whoever you're around, whoever is around you. And that's continuing the marathon. Because as long as we're teaching and educating and making sure we're passing information, it's important. Because that's how change happens. And with the knowledge, with the knowledge of whatever you're doing. I chose real estate, but whatever it is you're doing in life, just be the best at it. Whatever it is. Excuse me. And if you can train somebody, like I keep saying, or give the information to somebody, pass it on. Any life lessons that's positive and that's really good and that's really going, if you apply it, you can see a result. Those type of messages. I think that's important. I always see these little things that say, I am. And I think that's important. That's stabilizing mentally who you are, what you can do, and no fear. So that's super duper important. Building yourself and doing it without fear. Kind of the message so far. And it's important. It's important to know who you are and to build. Excuse me. You need to know that you can. And there's so much information. There was a class being taken, and one of the things I said that I wanted to be prepared for the class. So I went on the internet and I Googled all the information about the class that I'm now taking. And I had a folder of information just put together before I even stepped foot in the class. So any type of information, any type of knowledge, anything you're looking for, you can just push Google and get information. And that's important that you do, or whatever it is, because you want to be the best at whatever you're doing. Choose something for the younger generation. Choose something that you really, really want to do. Because if you do that, then it's going to make your job wonderful. You will enjoy it. I mean, of course, on any job is adjustments and all that, but your heart is in it. You'll do really well. You don't have to go through a whole lot of different things and then decide, okay, this is what I'm going to do. If you can pick out what you really love right now, you have a love for something, it'll open up doors for other things. But that thing that you have a love for, you should do that. You should do that because it will get done well. Because you have a love for it. But when you're forced to do things, it's a little bit different. But when you do it on your own, your love for it is different. It's just like working an 8 to 5 and then being responsible for your own hours. If you go to an 8 to 5 job, you don't want to be late, you want to be on time, and you're going to do those hours. So if you have your own company or you are trying to establish your own company, you have to be just willing to do those same 8 to 5 hours, if not more, for yourself. But the difference is having the discipline to do it. That's forced, and this is discipline. And so I think when you're more in the discipline lane, that's where you know the achievement's going to come because you've disciplined yourself to make those things happen. But my point is simply the force against you doing it on your own. You don't have to do it 8 to 5. In other words, if you can do it 8 to 5, I think you could do 8 to 5 for yourself if you have a dream. And if you're trying to build something, put it together, make it work. Put that time into that if you can. I know sometimes you have to balance. You have to work over here to try to make this work over there. I get it. But if you can, put as much time as you can into what your dream is or what it is that you're building. The more time, the more information, the more results. That's from everything. Even going to school, put that time in, read the books, make it happen, and it will. Excuse me. Yes, I will be referring back to my week because I was very proud of myself. Very proud of myself. Just handling everything that I said I was going to do. And it's not, it seems easy because it should be easy. But it is also that having the discipline to do it because you have so many other things that you can do and so many other options without no barriers. 8 to 5 barrier, no barriers, but you have to make them. So that was the most hardest part, was making sure that I made every situation work. And I achieved it. So I'm happy about that. That's a little pat on the back. And I want everybody to experience that and to feel the joy and the happiness of your own efforts. Because that's exactly what we're supposed to be presenting, putting out there, and receiving back is all the happiness and the goodness that we put out. And so we can't just talk about it. We can't just post about it. We have to be about it. And I know every moment is not going to be that, I'm just happy, it's a lark. But I know what I've learned is that you have to take those moments and make them happy as well. You have to find something positive in anything, in every situation. I don't care what it is. And when you do that, it just starts turning around, flipping for you, and you automatically understand that, okay, it can be, this is the real right here, the real possibilities of whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. When you're looking at everything from a positive perspective, there are optimistic things and, there's a gut feeling and all those things. I'm not saying avoid all of those things. I'm just saying try to operate in the positive element as much as you can. The positive element is, if you can operate yourself in it as much as you can, the vibe and it just rolls different. everything will not seem so major that we would normally be on attack about or ready to go in about. It wouldn't be that major once you start elevating yourself to that positive level where your vibe is just, that's all I want to take, that's all I'm going to give. And I mean, positive don't mean happy, cheery, go every single second, but it does mean that your mind is thinking in a good way with a good outcome for whatever's going on. Because you're going to have moments. Everybody is human. That's just what we do. But I'm just saying, in those moments, try to make them as better than they used to be. You know what I mean? Make them as good as they can be through the positive energy. So that's what I'm saying. But I know, life just kicks every day and stuff. So that's why we can't take everything that comes in so personal or just gravitate towards every single thing that comes into your fear, into your mind or into your area, your atmosphere. It could be mood, it could be words, it could be people, just whatever you're taking into your sphere. You want it to be positive. You can't control every little single thing, but you can control the outcome of how you handle every little single thing. And it's your attitude. And it's you knowing that you can. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. But I just want to say, hey, hi, Morris Media Studios, live, Brenda Bradford, Next Level Convo. So today I just wanted to talk about whatever I wanted to talk about. It's one of the moments, you guys. There's a transformation that's happening, and I'm happy about it. And I really want to share that happiness and that joy. And that's from just staying focused on the plan once I created the plan in my mind. But the happiest feeling in the world is not the biggest check that you get. For me, excuse me, I'm so sorry, excuse me. But it's not the biggest check that you get. It's not the best person. It's just a feeling that, you accomplished something. And that can make a difference. Give me a minute. I'm going to take a commercial break. For a second, I'll be back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Morris Media Studios Live and Brenda Next Level Convo with Brenda. That's me. Hey, I had to take a break there. And I wanted to say, I want everybody to have a wonderful weekend. This is October. So the year is almost over. We're almost at 2020. So let's start getting prepared for that. That's a whole new situation going on. Not saying New Year's resolution or any of that. Just change. Change something to something that could be of a positive, nature. Change anything so they can be positive. Because there's a lot of stuff going on. I always go on my little situation about my rants with the injustice that is in our system and that plagues us. And it's just something that we have to pay more attention to. Just a little bit more attention to making sure that you understand the things that are going on around you. I say don't bring the political people into the redevelopment or the cleanup of your neighborhood block by block. But I do say whatever the laws are for that particular city, for your particular location, know them. Study them. Pass that on as you're doing house by house. But understand what the laws are. And that's so important. And check with the Supreme Court cases. That's the highest court of decision making on our in our society. So once it goes there, that's what they say is the final decision for whatever that law is. So check whatever your information is against cases that have went to the Supreme Court. So check your information against that, balance it out so you know why, and be strong in it. Because we still have to build. In order to build, you do have to have that information, and you have to know the laws. But I was looking at this other case that had happened to a young lady. Her name was Chanel Miller. She was a student at a major university, and she was assaulted on the campus by another student there. She did like a year and a half back and forth to court, giving explanations, just telling what happened and listening to what other people were saying, but knowing the whole time that this happened. At the end of the situation, and I'm just cutting through the meat of it because, it's a lot, but this is just an example of the things that can happen in our society if we don't understand the laws and we don't know how to apply them or how to use them correctly. Because the young man was the man that did it, was found guilty, but it was, his lawyer understood the law, understood it really well. So there were technicalities that happened that didn't consider it a full rape situation. But it went to court. The decision was for him that because it was words that were used in her case that said, it was moderate, it was light. The actual event that happened to her, those are words that were said. So when it came down to the sentencing, the young man, he walked away with 6 months, and he, doing half of that was 3. But it was because his attorney really understood the law. Whether that was right or wrong, it was understanding the law and was able to apply it and use it just a little bit better. So that's why it's important for us to understand what is going on around us and know the details of the things that are happening around us. They say you should always know your surroundings. I don't think it's just limited to what your visual eyes could see. I think it's understanding the technology that's around you, the laws that are around you that will affect whatever you do. But because that young man had an attorney that understood the law really well, he did an awful thing, but he was still, his sentence was really reduced. It was really limited. The story could go run a lot of different ways, but that's the way I'm choosing to run it to get the best thing from it, which was the fact that you have to understand the law. But so that you can be that person if anything is happening that shouldn't be, or however something is happening, but you understand the law. You'll be that person standing over there that didn't get the 40 years because you knew what to say, you knew what to do, you knew how to take their information and utilize it for your best advantage. And that's just understanding the laws around where you are. But enough of that. Because I know, you can't help but discuss certain things because there's so much information coming in until it could be completely overwhelming. There's a lot of different stories, but it all leads with different messages and different lessons. And from what I received off of the things that I went over this week was a lesson. And the lesson is to be aware of your surroundings, build, understand ownership from businesses to real estate. In all aspects of it, income producing, investing, making it make money for you, same thing, investing, but different ways that you can make that happen is the point. To just knowing yourself, believing in yourself, not walking in fear, trusting who you are, and making sure you have your plan with the steps and execution dates. But just making sure that all these things are in alignment for the growth and movement and change in our lives. It's important. It's important. So that was my build up for the whole week, was just, wow, turning everything into a lesson and being able to learn something from it. And I thought that was super important this week. What's my lesson in this situation? And how can it benefit me? Okay. And that's what I look for. Was, okay, this happened, so what am I going to get from it? And that was all back to the phone situation. So all interrelated, not directly, but it's relation there, but it's all about what was I going to do and how was I going to get it done? And how is it going to build each step? And it's just 1 second at a time, 1 minute at a time. I know I get the big plans and all that as well, but I also sometimes it is just 1 minute at a time, 1 second at a time, 1 day at a time. It is that too. That fits into our life structure. But for the best results is staying on that task. The best results is seeing what you're doing every day and then seeing what you're not doing so it can get better the next day to be a better person in any walk that we're walking in this life. Our walk should always be to be the best person that we can be. And then people will always remember you not as being the best person as you can be. But that's okay too, because that's a part of the journey. That's a part of the walk. That's a part of becoming and changing and transforming, is saying, okay, oh my God, I saw that. I knew her. That was me. But now I'm here and I'm here. So I like that part too. I'm not ashamed of that because it lets you know how did you get to where we are. Because that walk and that journey is ours. And we have to take it and be responsible for it. So that's why you have to choose all your decisions. You have to choose them wisely, and you have to think about what you're doing and what you're saying and what's happening. Because once you make these decisions, you don't want to go back and feel, oh, I should have did this or did that. So process every decision. Take some time with it. And then make it and stick to it. That's the part right there. You have to stick to what you say. To yourself. Not to anybody else, just to yourself. Making little deals with yourself. Just stick to your own little deals. And that'll help you in life. Because if you can do that with yourself, you can do it with anyone. That's how I see it. Oh my God. So yeah, we're here at Morris Media Studios. You can always call in. I mean, I don't understand. You can call in 323-293-3375. If you have questions or you have topics or things that you want to talk about, you can call in and put in suggestions at Next Level Convo with Brenda and Khadijah at Morris Media Studios. And the number again, you see it, is 323-293-3375. And you have an option to call in if you have anything you want to talk about. I'm Brenda. at Next Level Convo. Enjoy myself. And I want to say I was happy, and I want to spread that happiness and that joy to others. Because I think that if you can make someone smile, or you could bring the best out of someone, or even share the best of what you have with that person at that moment, then I think that's an accomplishment as well. I think that's a big achievement. And we don't always have to tell the sad story. We can always say that you are happy about something. Say something nice to someone. You do something for anybody else other than yourself. And it's a different vibe. It's a different feeling. And it's something that we need to do more of. Self-included is doing for others. I mean, we do it, but I'm saying outside of our family structure, just something different, someone different. And it's different. You'll feel it. I've had opportunity to experience it. So when you do give to others, it is rewarding. And it's not always money. You don't always have to give money. It's your time, it's your knowledge, your energy. All those things are gifts that you can share with people. That's why you have to pick the people that you really want to share that with, who's deserving to be in your area to share with you. You have to pick them wisely. I know that sounds like so insensitive, because there are some people that come into your life. People can pass through in and out daily, but there are people that, just keep passing through, and then there are some people that stick. But the people that you want to stick, make sure they're just conducive to what your mindset is on whatever it is, from friendship to business to whatever it is. And it's positive. And then you have to share that with them. And they have to share with you. And you're on that same page, then, okay, hi. Because you cannot give yourself to people who are undeserving. You can forgive. Everyone says forgive. I'm not saying don't forgive at this point, but I'm saying don't give yourself to people who are unworthy to be around you, because they'll just take your energy and get you off of your program. And that's not what you want. Are we plugged in? Hello?
Hi. Hello?
I can't hear you.
Hi, I'm just calling in to tell you how much I love your show. And I just appreciate you always just trying to inspire and push for a positive change. Hello?
Okay, give me a minute. I'm trying to make sure I can hear you. Hello?
Hi, yeah. I was just calling because I just enjoy listening to your show and how you always push to inspire and for a positive change. And we really just love listening to you and hearing those encouraging words.
Well, thank you. It's always a pleasure to say them. And we need to say them more.
Yes, and you only could change something one by one. So, listening to you is just really inspirational, and I just appreciate all the great things that you say and the information and knowledge, you give us. And we enjoy watching your show.
Oh, my God. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate the call in, and I really appreciate the compliment. And I really do believe you.
We love you. Keep going with the show.
Okay, I love you. Enjoy your day. Thank you so much. Okay, bye-bye. That's always good to get some encouraging words. See what encouragement does? Just no matter who it comes from. As long as it's encouraging, as long as it's wonderful, and you're making someone put a smile on their face. That's important. Well, I want to say, you guys, it's been a pleasure. My whole week has been really, really wonderful. And that vibe I want to push out there with closing out with that put those good vibes out there. Put that good energy out there. And let people know that, you care in some kind of way or form. And all that energy will come back to you. And I think that's important that we do that. And I'm out.